Hello, good morning, and welcome to Sunrise Daily. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
Good morning, and welcome. I'm Ayo Makinde.
Yes, indeed. Today is one of those days where we go right into the dailies, and we've got Steve Nwosu here with us. He is the publisher and editor-in-chief of the Nigerian Express. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
So, there's still a lot unfolding. Let's get right to it. Let's start with Vanguard newspaper today. Kogi on fire as looting continues in Abuja, Calabar. Pregnant woman, 15 other looters die in clashes with security agents. And then, goodness, there's a host of these riders now. Police begin arrest of looters, over 80 in custody, ascribed to the Commissioner of Police. That's the Vanguard newspaper. Mop-up items stolen from garment factory, CICC, NAS members office. Others, okay, so they got there as well. Looters get 24 hours to return stolen items. Ayade offers 100,000 naira for tips. Hoodlums invades KADP, private warehouses, cart away fertilizer, rice, attack bank ATMs. Journalists hit by stray bullet. Police arrest suspects. 2 die in stampede over COVID-19 palliative in Abuja. FG shocked, begs looters to return vaccines, medical items, and it goes on. So this is where we are at the moment.
On the lighter note, they said my friend told me that the looting had been free and fair across the state. Only in Kogi they had to introduce a little bit of the traditional ta-ta-ta-ta-ta in Kogi.
Oh dear.
And others they've not been shooting, but in Kogi they shot. But it's painful really that and that's the thing about this protest. Once it becomes a Frankenstein at some stage, and you can't really rein anybody in. But I fear, I don't know how we're really going to stop this. It's like every state that hasn't seen something to loot yet is like it's just not happening. But my fear is what the directive that was given in Cross River, where they said they should go from house to house
To begin
to search for. Yes, you can use some result, but is a two-edged sword. I mean, they can pick up anybody now and say many of us will have things in our houses that we might not even have a receipt for, yet they can't readily provide the receipt. So what happens? Somebody comes and say you stole that, and you can't prove that you didn't because there's no receipt. It's very dangerous. But then there has to be something to stop this. And the problem is this idea of the governor said they didn't hoard, but they had so much time to. I mean, there are states that shared it. I heard that Abia shared it, so everybody, Sokoto shared. So they could have done it. I didn't know what the delay was. In Lagos, they said one person said he wanted to share it on his birthday, like he wanted to do the people a favor. And this is something your government failed and couldn't provide all the palliative needed. The private sector stepped in, gave you stuff, and you're still keeping it, trying to, I don't know when you want to give it out. Somebody said he wanted to give it out on his birthday, so he will give it to the people and like birthday gift from me. Meanwhile, this is something somebody has given you free of charge, give to people, and you're holding it. But those are just the little things. It's everybody has a blame together. That's not supporting what the guys are doing. And there's a lot of kleptomania going on. It's not even about hunger. You saw them pushing a tractor somewhere.
Yeah.
Some people
ripped it apart.
I mean, it's just somebody with
some take wheelchair,
signboard,
did they plan to be crippled?
signposts and all kinds of things. People just
expired medical equipment.
So you could even pick up some disease from there. Infectious disease laboratory for
What statement do you think this action of the people, what statement do you think it's making out there? What's it saying?
There's hunger in the land, there's frustration. And whether we like it or not, it's a statement that this government is doing well, but it's just not doing that well. It's not just good enough. People are frustrated. It's just simple. Because you can't say people are so hungry and you keep denying that they are not hungry. And I mean, everybody is so frustrated that he wants to just grab, like, as if it started this Nigeria, let us just take whatever comes to us as our own share.
From what you have seen so far, government responses at all levels, do you think government is getting the memo?
There is still this aloofness on the part of government. Some, yes, whether no matter how bad we feel about Lagos, the Lagos man is doing quite a bit. So many governors have gotten it, but some people that were sold on this narrative that it's a move to unseat the government and all that. Yes, that can come in, whether you like it or not. At the end of it, by the time a demonstration persists for so long, that it begins to question the legitimacy of the government.
If they had responded to it differently for the first week,
simple,
would this have happened?
This wouldn't have happened because somehow everybody was aloof, waiting. It's like, this regular thing, they will do their own thing and go, and you're not in sync with you don't feel the pulse of the people you are supposed to be governing. It's always this belief that it will soon die off, and that's what's...
Does that in any way question our consciousness of the security challenges that may, be around?
You see, but the problem is that we have this mindset of seeing security every time, the security of the country from the security of the government. The security of the government is just a minute part of the security of the country. But unfortunately, our military and everybody just seems to focus on the security of the government. So whatever you do, once they don't know that hunger is a major threat to security, is a bigger threat to security than any other thing. That even plotting outright coup, hunger is a more serious threat to security.
Speaking about security, 72 hours after IGP's order, policemen still off Lagos roads.
I drove to this place now. I didn't see one checkpoint, neither police, no.
But, wait. Were you expecting checkpoint?
No. There's a check. There's some kind of security.
What do they call it?
Even the military. The only place I saw some kind of police presence was on Ikodu Road, but there was a little bit of a traffic. But the truth was that they were carrying, one of the vehicles were carrying refrigerator and something. So I guess they were just moving some of their friends somewhere. It wasn't like security. And then the other one had plain clothes, normal human beings that they were trying to probably give a lift, sitting at the back. So it wasn't really more of a security patrol. But you can't really blame the police. They are like a target in this thing. But we have to find a way around it. It's not like we can't say because they've attacked police and the police should not be off-road. I have been shot in the traffic. Does it mean I won't enter traffic again? I still carry a marker with it that I have a bullet that was a shot in the traffic. That doesn't mean that I will now stay off the road. But come on, we call you policemen. That one, well...
NSAS, Shippers Council pushes for demurrage waivers at ports. Should the authorities now have a deliberate look at doing something for the business community? Because look, people are still going to have to pay the taxes.
I'm so happy with what the Shippers Council is proposing, because clearly so many I have a friend who is into pharmaceuticals. I went to his office about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, he had just received a consignment the previous day. It was something he ordered in May.
Wow.
And then some they take as long as 6. They come and they just stay there. So what are you going to do? He's not there because he abandoned it. It's just because the atmosphere, the business environment is just not conducive. He can't guarantee his own security, let alone the security of what is coming in. So I think I'm happy with what the man at the Shippers Council is proposing. He let them have some kind of waiver. But for the entire business community, like I said, this is a time all over the world where every sensible country is injecting money into the hands of businesses to at least retain people at work, to keep businesses running. Every business is almost flat. It's even worse for the media. But they, of course, they don't even consider the media and all these ones. But even the banks are not giving anybody no facilities. All the real sector, everything, manufacturing is almost dead. So we need whatever we can do, tax waivers, whatever. Apart from the tax waivers and all those reliefs, they actually need money to be given direct to them to pick up production again, because that's the only way we can, like I say, we can only spend ourselves out of this.
Just something you said about the media. Sorry, Jimmy.
We'll still have another thing that
I
you can still look at.
Just this one. You said something about that the media isn't giving its due recognition in all of these.
Yeah.
What kind of consideration should be given?
Look, the banks have issues, and the CBN runs around to back up banks to stop them from collapsing. How many times have they intervened into the aviation industry in this country? There are all kinds of all kinds of loans, but you, the media, they want to push you into your MSME. Meanwhile, you are not talking of a 50,000 naira, 50 million naira operation. You are talking of hundreds of billion business, and then they just abandon you. And then there's almost like that seeming desire, that sadistic desire to watch you die. I mean, I don't want to talk about it, but we are in it. Is in the midst of all this that somebody is still slamming some kind of surcharge and punishment on media houses for what is clearly a government running behind schedule that is not in tune with the time. You sit up and say, how can you use something from a media, from a DJ? For goodness sake, in this age of citizen journalism, somebody generates something, you say it's not a verifiable. What other verification do you need for that? And then did you say, everybody that used it said, we use it for this person brought it, this is the person it was on, everybody saw it, and then you just ignore it. And that is why we have this problem. We don't think that the social media has become part of this thing we call journalism practice and news dissemination. That's why so many universities unfortunately, the man is a professor of mass communication, and he teaches. That's why many mass comm departments are not teaching social media as a major. It has gone to the stage that it should become a major aspect, that you just go and read BSc social media, not just BSc mass comm, that is what some of us read, but now it's no longer tenable. You need to break that thing down, because social media is a major part of it, and then you can't just say you won't use it because it's coming from social media. And then they are punishing you when they should be giving people money to keep operation, to keep informing people, because it's a cost-intensive business.
I guess the authorities need to know that times have changed.
Yeah.
And so they need to change with the times.
Basically.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. is just somewhere saying, welcome dear. I hope what you're carrying on your head are not looted foodstuff from a COVID-19 palliative warehouse. And Mr. says, of course not. And Mrs. from somewhere says, fine. Let me see the receipts. So, just in case she wants to be sure. Well, look at the back page of Vanguard Sports. Saudi club sack Ahmed Musa. And then Guardiola replacement. Man City consider Pochettino Nagelsmann. So already you have some sort of thoughts there. So, but that's Vanguard this morning.
The football has taken up.
Yeah.
Well, Daily Independent is also talking about the NSAS protests, but the lead is, those behind Lekki shootings will be dealt with, Nwosu says, we will make CCTV footage available to panel. Panel urges victims of Lekki shootings to come forward. Are you hopeful?
Not too hopeful. Much as Nwosu wants them to be brought to book, as it were. But we also know that if you listen to his the interview he had with one of these cable, you see there are a lot of breaks, hesitation to say certain things. The truth is that even if they indict some military officers there now, he doesn't have the powers to bring them to call them to order, to bring them. And they kept asking him, are you going to bring them to, yes or no? He kept dancing around. I said they will surely be dealt with. But let's wait and see how it goes. If they are denying that it was firecracker, like we were having some Christmas party that they would go and start shooting fireworks, and then we saw pictures of live bullets and blank bullets, and they said they were only silver bullets, but we saw bronze bullets.
Oh yeah. Well, something similar on page 28. We now know barracks of soldiers who shot protesters in Lekki. That's according to Falana. See, he'll testify at that panel. Economy bleeding from mass looting, arson. That's according to the federal government. Fears record spike in COVID-19 infections soon. That story is also on page 28. It will seem like we just seem to be carrying on like
the COVID-19 thing, because everybody is trying to, we hear the narrative now, because youths have been demonstrating, and so they have been gathering and there might be spike, but they also forget that the politicians were holding their rallies non-stop. They held it in Ekiti, they have been holding it all over. That doesn't spike COVID. Abuja that wanted to stop anti-SARS protests because of COVID protocol, we heard that there was also approval for some people for 2 million man march to support government, and so it's just a question of who is fooling who. The truth is that, yes, why not underscoring the need for the COVID protocol, but I mean, it's not like when it favors the authorities, they will say, let's stop public gathering, large gatherings. But when it's in their interest, they pretend they don't know. And people go to political rallies not even wearing masks and climbing all over themselves.
There are so many other stories to pick on the front page of the Daily Independent this morning, so let me leave it there.
Well, look at Nigerian Tribune. UK to judicial panels investigate all incidents. Police arrest 433 hoodlums in Kwara, Adamawa, Calabar, Ondo, FCT, Taraba. Plateau government designates 7 courts to prosecute 307 suspects. Banks, businesses closed as soldiers take over roads in Oshogbo. Hoodlums hijack palliative distribution in Ogun. Gunshots in Lokoja. Makinde sets aside 500 million naira compensation fund. But this perspective of UK to judicial panels investigate all incidents, what dimension could this be?
That tells you that much as we might think we are on our own here, the world is seeing what is happening here. It's not, we might even deny that this didn't happen. The world is seeing what is happening, and we are also not living in our small, the world has gone beyond what it used to be in like 1983, 93. The things have moved on, and everybody has interest. Yes, you might not expect that they will come, like they say, they might not put boots on the ground here, but they will do whatever they can to nudge us in the right direction.
Even though primarily the ball is in our courts.
The ball is
in terms of
still
what we do
in our court, yeah.
All right, that's Tribune this morning.
The Guardian newspaper is interested in what's happening on the front page of the Guardian newspaper's front page is almost always talking about the economy. Nigerian economy at risk over lingering crisis. Cost of living reaches all-time high. Inflation rate escalates, defies economic principles. Protest may enhance accountability, improve investment outlook. That's what you find on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. What do you make of this?
It's stating the obvious. The economy is in a mess. Unfortunately, we're not going to get out of it because we have to find a way to stop this protest. Yes, the authentic protesters, the youths that actually protest have taken the back seat, because what we have now just hoodlums on rampage. I'm not asking that the army should open fire on Nigerians, but it might need some kind of maybe show of force, not necessarily opening fire, to deter, to stop this. Even if it's curfew, you implement it. If you are imposing curfew, for goodness sake, you ensure that you implement it. Although a lot of funny people, it's like we are between the devil and the deep blue sea now, and that's because of how we mishandled this crisis at the beginning. Now it's gone to, there's nothing the military does that will not backfire. If you don't open fire, they will say, or if you don't arrest the situation, they say you are not doing anything, you are clueless. If you open fire, it means that you are heartless. So something just, but there has to be a middle way somehow, some kind of show of force to peg back these hoodlums, and then so the economy can, it's not like the economy was particularly healthy before now, but then at least we can remove this obstacle and know what our problems really are.
A number of other issues on the front page, but let's leave it there for now.
And then on to Daily Trust. Tackle looters. Vorotai tells military commanders will resist plots to destabilize Nigeria. That's a quote from there. Military should be circumspect. Experts. Looters cut away tractors in Adamawa. Hospital beds in Taraba. What is this?
I feel as much as I'm angry with the way the military handled this thing, especially because of Lekki angle, I also feel for them. But this idea of yes, of course, we tell them occupy, hold your, as they say in the street lingo, hold your side. The military should secure their barracks so we don't, because by the time we see hoodlums attacking military barracks, we will probably have lost it completely. But the military should also realize that it's not about fire for fire. It's not about opening fire. But then there has to be a way of tackling. Yes, this looting needs to be. We need to halt it.
But in terms of security, the military can't keep doing these things in this kind of democratic dispensation. Whatever happens to police? Because people are talking about state police now. Who's going to resist it? The same National Assembly that they felt. What happens now?
The way you see, Nigeria is a skewed system. You can't get. It's like having failed to get things done under through military fiat. Is like there's nothing to expect from this National Assembly. If you want to amend that, the problem lies with our constitution and it's everything wrong about it. We need to tweak things a lot. But when you you say restructuring, some people get jittery. You say constitutional amendment, some people get jittery. You say state police, they get jittery. But clearly, the state governments fund the police. The only thing is
they don't control.
No control. And then whatever happens, you just say that's why they can set up panels on SARS excesses, make recommendation, forward it, and then the police authority will just put it there. But if the governor was really the chief security officer, fully in charge of it, it's not just enough to say set up committee. Governors are setting up committees, everybody is setting up everything, and now they will now make recommendation and now send it to the same police that ab initio didn't want to do nothing about this.
So, all right. Well, so many issues there, but quickly take the Nigerian News Direct. Well, NSAS protests. Outrage over sanction of AIT channels, Arise TV. That's the lead story.
Yes, Chinese was among, right?
It's on the front page.
People are owing us 3 million, or is it 5 million? So,
among other stories on the front.
Every sane human being should be enraged with that fine that was slammed on the media houses. I'm not happy about it. But then and it's this idea of we against them. Instead of tackling the problem, you're looking for scapegoats and who to everything. You tie it down to there's a move to unseat the government. And once you have come with that mindset, you close your mind. You can't see the larger picture. You are not able to see. And this is how the journey to Somali, the journey to Rwanda. I don't even want to say Rwanda because Rwanda turned around. Somali, Libya, you just keep going. Protests, you clamp down, the protesters come back, and then before you know it, they're attacking my area. They start picking any person, and the middle class, we are almost gone, dead, or non-existent already, but we'll be the first target. They target us, then all the big men run away. Before you know it, we have a failed country. And this is how it starts. But to stop, to check that is what we should. This idea of this military reading riot act is not what is going to solve it. The solution is political. It lies on the table of the president. It lies with the National Assembly. We have to sit down and see how we can tweak things to get us, to ensure some level of justice in the system, some level of equity in the system, some level of fairness in the system. If that, until those ones are, people will keep demonstrating, the youth will keep, and like somebody was saying, there's nothing we can do to stop this youth. It's a movement that its time has come.
All right, then. So there you go. Thank you very much indeed, Steve Nwosu, publisher of the Nigerian Express. We're back in a moment. Join us again.